Alright, making a little video here about my Smith & Wesson Bodyguard that I'm having a problem with. I've got serial number starts off with EBN67 and I've covered up the rest. I don't know if that's a risk to have the whole thing out there or not, but I choose not to. I bought this gun probably, I don't know, back maybe 10 years ago. And it probably doesn't have but 300 rounds through it total. I didn't shoot it a lot. I never had a problem until last year. I started shooting it, and about every other magazine full, it would the trigger wouldn't grab the hammer. So basically, it was doing this. If you put a little bit of pressure back on the hammer, now it will grab and make the hammer fire. And I don't like dry firing it because it's, I guess you could call it the plastic polymer. Alright, so I just clicked it and I held it with my finger so it didn't slam forward, but the trigger's not resetting. Okay. And that's what it's doing when the gun is completely together and I'm at the firing line. It'll shoot about 5 or 6 times, and if I don't let the trigger all the way out, the trigger won't grab then. If I let it off after every shot, it grabs and fires. But if I hold any pressure back on it at all, and then it goes into this mode here where it won't pull the hammer back, and then I have to play with it and jiggle it, and all of a sudden, or even recharge it, and then it'll start firing again. So it's like something internally is not grabbing the hammer to make it fire. And even though I have it disassembled right now, I've contacted Smith & Wesson with an email to see what they got to say about it. I haven't been able to find anybody online that has a resolution for it. One guy had a similar problem, but he doesn't say what they did to resolve it. I don't know if they replaced something, or if it's a spring problem or something broken, but like I said, it will not fire until I put a little pressure on this hammer, and then you hear it click. I don't know if that's called the trigger reset, but now it will fire. And like I said, I'm having the same problem with it on the firing line. And so if you know what the problem is, please put it in the comments below. I'm waiting to hear back from Smith & Wesson. I'm assuming they will want to send me a box maybe. Like I said, it's not had very many rounds put through this gun, maybe 300 total at different times. I'd buy a box of 20 and shoot it, a box of 20 and shoot it, and all I bought it for was a backup weapon. I used to be in law enforcement, and I just wanted something as a backup weapon. And then later I'd carried it as a pocket pistol into a retail store or something, or a restaurant when in the summertime, when I didn't want to have a big holster on. And it's not a gun that I would go looking for trouble with, but I could hopefully fight my way out of a situation in a restaurant like I just saw in Texas the other day with that video. And nobody's going to go try to stop a bank robbery with a .380 caliber pistol. But the only other issue I had was the battery went dead in my laser, and I changed it, and apparently I didn't tighten it up enough, and it backed out and hung up to where I had trouble disassembling the pistol. And then once I got it broke down, this little screw right there needed to be tightened back down, and I did. It's got a little wear on it now from where the handle hit it, but other than that, I hadn't had any trouble. It was a good shooting little gun, and but now that it, has developed this problem, I'm not comfortable with it. I've lost faith that it'll fire. I'll be in a restaurant or something, and all of a sudden I'll be going like this and it won't fire. And so, is it a trigger reset problem? I don't have any local gunsmiths around me that I'm able to visit. I live in Loganville, Georgia, and so far I'm not finding anybody close that has any experience with these that can tell me what the problem is or do an aftermarket repair or whatever. So anyway, I'm going to probably end up sending it to Smith & Wesson and see what they can do to fix the problem. And I don't have another one to test to see if that's normal, but that's exactly what it's doing on the firing line. It'll fire, and then if I don't let the trigger out, like I said, it'll go into this mode where it won't grab the hammer. And so I'm no gunsmith, but it's probably something to do, with the trigger reset mechanism, whatever that is. I tried cleaning and lubing. That has no effect on it. I could put it right back together now and probably shoot 8 shots, 7 shots through it, whatever, fine. And then all of a sudden it'll do it. And so it's intermittent, but it happens quite frequently enough to where I'm not comfortable carrying it as a backup weapon or a pocket pistol to use in a situation where I got to try to protect myself and my family. So if anybody knows or had similar problems, please put it in the comments or put in links to anybody that can sell parts to repair this situation or anything. I'm open to all suggestions, and I do appreciate it. Thank you.